The carrier owes the broker how much? I know, tough subject. Everyone deserves to get paid. Doing the right thing still matter? Today, Charles Lemons, owner-operator car hauler, joins us live to talk about all this. Plus, Central Dispatch enhancement launch. How's that going? Please ask your questions, say hello, make new friends, and network with the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to Industry Logistics on ATI Auto Business, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. We've got a pretty hot show today. We have two big topics. Go ahead and jump in the live chat. Say hello. All right, slow things down a little here. We've got Central Dispatch enhancement launch. Yesterday was day one. So we've got some stuff to talk about there. Then also, we'd already set up a show with Charles Lemons where we're talking about carrier and broker and pay. And man, almost nobody wants to talk about this. Now, there's a lot of keyboard warriors on both subjects. But getting people to talk live, man, that is a whole different matter. But we are lucky. We have Sue. Sue, can you see me and hear me today?
I can. Can you hear and see me?
We can hear you. We can see you.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to... I'll tell you what. I'll do this. Let me grab the news. Let it sink in that Sue has something to say, and we are going to find out what it is. Okay. Today's show was already highly controversial. You know, you don't want to see this. You can't do this. If you share this on LinkedIn, you don't have some fancy talk about leadership and relationships. You are canned, man, out the door. But I don't know where else. Like, if I share this on Facebook, what would happen? What happens if you share this on Facebook?
Very sense.
Threads of war?
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know
people
either.
just jumping all over it, but
Yeah.
I don't know either. And plus, somebody right now is like, what are they even talking about? Well, we're going to get into that. Okay. You know, this fits. Charles makes videos. He's an owner-operator car hauler. This video is called Why the Rates Suck So Bad. Okay? It's real. And when carriers talk about rates sucking bad, it usually has to do with brokers. And here's a perfect example. Actually, Muzi sent me this. Thank you, Muzi. All right. And we're going to talk about it. I know you're not supposed to talk about it, Jay. Stop making a channel where you talk about our secrets. Well, welcome to Auto Transport. ATI is where everyone learns more about how the automotive industry works, whether they want to or not. I realize there are conferences where people get together and just high five and eat the lobster. I get it. But that's not how everybody's living. In fact, that's not how most people are living. They're just trying to get through the day, and they wonder what you're doing under that mask. Why? Here's a repo guy. We need to, here, let me just close that. We need to fix the forwarders who screwed up this business and pulled their pants down to the financiers. This is repo. Sue, this isn't even car haul. It sounds just like car haul. Yeah. This is why I say the repo industry and the car haul industry have so much in common, and they're at war. It is fragmentation city. And I make a channel about it, and Jay, we don't want to hear about it. Don't eat the lobster. Here's a guy. What about Roadrunner not paying for 6 months? I don't know. What about, is that real? I don't know.
Yeah, I've had some, not 6 months, but we've had, a guy called us a couple months ago, could not get paid from them. And that's the one we were talking about getting on their load board, the V2. That's
I know, the V2.
Yeah.
Well, see, Sue, you just blew it. See, now they'll never talk to us. Oh, God.
I mean, I'll be honest. We told him the same thing as there's a process to doing Roadrunner and getting paid,
Okay.
but it doesn't always work. I'll be honest. We've
Okay.
had several times where it took us a month or two to get paid. Most of the time, as long as
Allegedly.
you market, yes.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
Well, no, it actually happened to me. So, but anyways,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this like that's for real. That happened.
There you go.
But anyways,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is you have to mark it delivered on central dispatch. Then that starts the processing payment. So if you forget to do that, they do not even set up the payment until that gets marked. So just keep that in mind. That's part of the problem sometimes. But I've had them slip through the
Well,
cracks
that's
before, too.
okay. That's very interesting, and that's probably I'm gonna make a really crazy guess. I'm gonna guess that's repeated on the dispatch sheet along with
Yes.
20 other
And they even tell
items
you
that are all
when you take the
bold,
load.
all caps, underlined, and there's so many of these repeated, all bold, all caps, all underlined statements. I think that right drivers too now.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
There's like 2-3 pages
And-
of contracts and stuff.
and
I get it.
The
Who reads
truth
it?
is, it's on, yeah. Well, and this is why dispatchers are very helpful. Another topic you can't talk about. Oh my God, we just lost a whole nother section of the audience. They just exploded. Worst show ever. Know your ecosystem. OEM dealer auction logistics. Don't talk about it, Jay. Road Warrior Wellness, staying in shape on the road. We did that last Thursday. Actually, I thought that was a really good show.
Yeah, it was. Very informative.
And I felt a little motivated. I don't think I did exercise, but I felt motivated to.
Thought about it. I think I actually did. I think I went and walked.
See, there you go. It's pretty cool. It's weird. I'm talking about something. So do you still have an available
No.
slot?
Yeah, I still do.
Still have an available slot. If you need a dispatcher, if you want to talk about why, call Sue 417-273-0021. Ask for Sue. Right? DDD says the Stinger guys would eat you alive. I'm telling you right now, DDD, they've already tried. They already do. Yeah, no. Full load car. True statement. The full load guys, I think they despise this channel. I say dispatcher in a
Probably.
positive way. Yep. I say dispatcher in a positive way. That's it. Nope. Right there. I talk about wedgies. Oh, God. And you can't use a sense of humor in any conversation. You can't do that. Humor does not work. See, look, it's just silence. Okay. Show me the truck. Why do I do it then? Because, see, that's the thing. This is how I talk. Right. No wonder nobody wants to talk to me. This is how I talk in real life, so this is how I do the show in real life on television. Yeah. It's a requirement for vehicles to be roadworthy. Then why isn't it a requirement for roads to be vehicle worthy?
Be worthy. Yeah.
It's a really good one.
point.
Too bad we don't like your channel, Jay. Otherwise, we would have seen that. Okay. Yeah, did you get the memo? Okay. Hey, eCar Mover says August 6th, you got to update your insurance requirements. Now, do you have anything to add on this, Sue?
Well, they've always been additionally insured. The new thing is that diminished value and constructive total loss. I get it. Because as a broker, I know I want to know that. Because if that were to happen, you want to know what they're actually going to get paid. So I get it.
Okay, so I'm thinking of there's somebody new right now that doesn't know what this says. Can you explain what this says? Let's go through it. Certificate holder means call your insurance
actual
company, get the insurance
Right.
company to send a certificate of insurance where
From
the
your
broker
agent.
is listed as the certificate holder, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Additionally insured is that extra level of insurance that you got. You may have to pay your insurance company.
Yep.
It has to list the certificate holder as additionally insured, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So what's diminished value and constructive total loss? Are those
Well-
additional lines
Well, see,
on the
that's weird. 'Cause
policy?
usually, diminished value is going to have to do with what the value of the market value is, after the accident and stuff like that. But I don't know how that. You're not going to know, like if your cars are on there, you're not going to know that. So wouldn't it more have to do with his actual
See, and
car carrier.
this is why I'm bringing this up.
It's kind
Again,
of confusing. It really is.
that's why I do Captain Obvious for a reason. Number one, I like to know. Number two, I'm not worried about asking stupid questions. And number three, I don't think everybody knows what this means. And so if I got this email, I'm assuming there's somebody getting this email. It's like, well, I guess we just won't try to book with them because I don't even know what it means. And I'm not going to ask. I'm going to let Jay do it.
Well, and see, most of the time,
I don't know what it means.
This is what you learn about, like when you buy a car, and this is what would happen if you were totaling it, that kind of thing.
Just me?
And it says that constructive total loss is when there's severe damage but not completely destroyed. So, I don't know either. You wouldn't have these things on each car that you carry. So I'm not really clear on it either.
And here's the thing. I'd love to get somebody to come on and talk. They're probably not going to do it because,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll just move on, right? Like everything
I'm
else.
assuming it has to do with their actual truck and trailer, but not sure how that has anything to do with insurance or hauling a car. But
we'll just do whatever. Yeah. Okay, so here we are. It is now, Central Dispatch. We're about to lead into big topic one here. Central Dispatch has been saying they're going to have an enhanced dashboard experience coming in August. Yes. I know I talked about in January that Central Dispatch made a $100 million investment in updating the platform, mobile app, dashboard, etc. And now we are, I just reported this. I got double screens here. Let's see here. I reported this, last week. This came out. You shared this with me. Unapproved automations are going to be in violation. And I said, well, I think that, that's going to affect some other technologies. And guess what? You said yesterday, you can no longer import Central Dispatch to Super Dispatch. And I thought, well, maybe that's going to be, what?
They fixed it.
They fixed it. Okay. Super Dispatch fixed it?
Yep.
There you go. Super Dispatch fixed it. Well, I don't think this is over by any means. In a true tug of war, that tug of war goes on and on. This is going to go on and on. It is.
Yes.
All right. It doesn't have to. I don't need to be right. I just think I am. Okay. Of course, when people think they're right, they always think they're right, and everybody thinks they're right, and that's why everybody disagrees. Okay. One Central Dispatch platform has arrived. Marketplace enhancements are now live. This was yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So, you log in. Welcome to your One Central platform. Man, amazing. Except, one broker said, where is all the saved data? Now, that broker isn't here today, even though it seems like this is an important topic. This shows just too much for him. You also experienced the same thing, but it went further than that.
Yes.
All right, the floor is yours. What happened yesterday?
You send me the text saying, hey, they've started, and I'm like, nothing's changed. Okay. And what was it, maybe 30 minutes later, I'm like sending you text after text going, I am about to kill somebody. So what's happened first was us trying to dispatch a car to somebody. Not able to do to it. It automatically comes up with the little wheel, says that I'm not the admin, I can't do anything. Which makes no sense because I'm the owner of the company, and I'm actually, now that they've done the manage users and all that stuff, I'm listed as the owner. So it doesn't make sense that I cannot dispatch a car. So I'm freaking out, trying to figure things out, can't figure anything out, and I don't know if everybody else notices, but like nothing was working. So we called. Well, I called Central Dispatch first, and I was told that they were in a meeting and couldn't help anybody. Which, first off, that just sent me on a livid rage, because I'm like, okay, first off, you don't give us videos, you don't warn us, you don't tell us anything to help us when this all happens. That should have been their first thing, and like their videos, there's nothing like that. So I was really upset about that. Then we called, and they didn't answer. Then we called again, and we were on hold for an hour. Finally get through to an Indian gentleman who could barely speak English, who proceeds to tell us that the reason why I cannot dispatch a car to anybody is because my credit card has expired. Now, keep in mind, They charged me on August 1st, so that makes no sense whatsoever. So that wouldn't keep me from dispatching. But he wouldn't listen to us because he kept saying, you're out of your allotted load listings. And I'm like, we're not trying to list a load. I'm trying to dispatch a vehicle. That has nothing to do with anything. And he kept saying, well, you got to buy more. And I'm like, we don't need to buy more. We're trying to dispatch. And he said, well, it's because you have an expired credit card. So we changed that. Didn't affect anything because I'd already paid. Didn't affect anything that worked on the board either. So called back. They told us to wait for an hour. Nothing changed all day long. I finally went to my phone to see if I could do anything there. So I got on my phone and I could dispatch a car there. But lo and behold, as you get to the load, there's nothing there. None of your information is on pickup. None of your information is on delivery. The VIN number was in there, which is bizarre to me, but nothing else. Not like my contract stuff, not the ones that you attached. Those were on there. But like when I write, this is at Mannheim, you need to do this, blah, 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 that's all gone. So I have to sit there and type it in back and forth from my cell phone, from the computer, because the computer has all the stuff. I just can't dispatch from there. So I have to get it all in. I get it all in, and then my phone updates, and it loses everything again. So I'm really doubly frustrated by this point in time. Finally get it all done. So I'm hoping this morning that everything's going to change and everything's going to be back to at least somewhat normal. No. So I called in again to Central Dispatch. This time I talked to a wonderful lady, and I told her I would tell everybody her name. Her name is Darcy. She was fantastic. She got me through it right away. But this is what's going on. If you cannot dispatch on your normal, if you're using Google Chrome, either do one of two things. I went in and did, what's it called? Incognito, and brought up a separate page, Incognito. I was able to dispatch, and I was able to see all of my stuff now. She said to go switch to Firefox or another one to be able to get Central to work. She's saying that Google Chrome, there's something wrong with it, and they have to fix it. I don't know how that works because I went in incognito mode in Google Chrome and it worked. So there you have it. But that was a lot of frustration yesterday with no dispatch. I was able to only dispatch one vehicle yesterday. One vehicle, which was crazy.
Wow, one vehicle?
Yeah, because I couldn't get it to work, couldn't get anything to happen.
Oh my God.
Everybody's getting frustrated with me. The transfer's like, oh, I'm going to go someplace else. And I'm just like, I get it, man. I just totally get it. I mean, if I can't dispatch you the car, what are you supposed to do? You know, they all want the car, but I can't do anything about it. So, and I will say, hey, by the way, when you do dispatch, did I send you the right picture? You were saying something about, you thought it was a different one. I sent you the dispatch sheets because everybody knows the dispatch sheets have completely changed.
Well, no, I thought you sent me a gate pass.
Maybe I sent you one by accident.
I think you sent me a gate pass. I didn't. Yeah, I wanted to see the dispatch sheet. Great. Yeah, let's. Yes. And feel free to share your screen too. You know. All right. So we got 10 minutes till Charles. I want to go through some of this stuff. First of all, I want to say.
Oh, you have to enable me.
Yeah. Give it a try again.
Okay.
You know, what I wonder is when it comes to, like I think you pointed out something important. And that is that, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the screen from you because I don't want to see. I don't know what there is that I don't want to see. But do me a favor, send me a PDF of a dispatch sheet. Okay. And I'll pull it. Okay. So, I don't know.
Takes a minute to find, by the way, because they're in a totally different place now.
Oh, so okay, great. So what I want to say is that I don't know, this is camera one stuff. I don't know if the marketplace had enough information going into day one. And as the founder of ATI, and I said this, I don't know if somebody's made more Central Dispatch videos than me. I don't even think Central Dispatch has. So my offer is this. I would love to utilize me in this platform to be more proactive. I don't think enough people knew what was going to happen on day one, right? And from Sue, I'm hearing from you, you still don't know. You're not for whatever
There's
reason.
still nothing. We're figuring everything out on our own.
And I
There's
know
no
there
videos.
are videos on, you go to centraldispatch.com/1, and there are videos, but not the ones you're talking about.
No videos to show you about this new stuff, to show you how
Right.
to manage it and go through it. And honestly, you're right. If they had maybe helped us ahead of time, we could have done a show on the day
could
that it
have helped
happened.
a lot, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
And I kind of have been saying that for months. That where's the update? Where's the update? What's going on? And then suddenly launch, right? And I know there are going to be those that are like, well, it's not suddenly launch. Well, it felt that way to the marketplace. And we are here to help. I don't know where else you'd go. This is another thing about the comment of the conferences and the lobsters. There are other channels you can share banners and stuff, but that's not really marketplace outreach.
Yeah.
It's not. You can do that, but it's not marketplace outreach. And the marketplace doesn't know what's going on. And the fact that random broker guy that won't even come on ATI contacted you to share his frustration shows, my God, how many people out there are frustrated and they don't know who to talk to about this.
Right.
And I have further ideas, because I'll just say this. There's no need to schedule a focus group next month to gather feedback and sit around. No, that's too slow. And by the way, you're still talking to people that go to conferences and eat lobster. That is not who you need to talk to. They're not the ones with the biggest problems, although they are included. So I also have I've got my war paint of the day, because I really feel like there's opportunities being missed as we speak to leverage what it is we're here for.
Yeah.
And we all, that could, fine, make that choice. I just wouldn't. I don't know why you would. There are actually other tech companies that I think have lost and missed the opportunity to leverage us. I don't know why they did. I have no idea. I still don't know. It doesn't matter, though. And you know what? If the ship goes down and nobody ever cared, that would make sense. This is auto transport. I don't know why. I know there's still folks that are like, why did Jay and Sue still do it? Why do they bother? What are they angry about? Just go to the conference and eat the lobster, right? I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird. And we're not done. We're going to bring on Charles, and we're going to take another slam at the bus talking about carrier pay. And on the carrier pay thing, I guess I'm going to write down carrier pay before I move on, because I made my point about utilizing ATI. All right. You couldn't dispatch. I think that's pretty wild. And it wasn't because, was your account unpaid?
No.
I mean,
paid.
That seems weird that would be a possibility, but that
that
also sounds like something well, you didn't pay your bill. Okay, yeah, I did.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
The bill was paid as of August 1st, so that made no sense.
Yeah, and I mean, this is your business. What, you're going to suddenly not just pay your bill? Okay.
Right.
So, and also I think that you had such a hard time getting a hold of anybody. I think that's too bad. That's
and
too
I'm
bad.
sure it's because there's thousands of people calling in because nobody could get anything to work.
Which again,
because they didn't.
All right. And I told you I'm the man in the middle. All right?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle here. I want everybody to play along and get along. I really do.
Wow, nothing like
And what I will say is any software launch is going to be full of unpredictability and bugs and stuff. Like this Chrome issue, you're saying there's a Chrome issue, allegedly?
That's what she told me.
Okay.
Yeah, she said it's a Chrome issue.
Those things happen too.
Right.
So sometimes incognito.
Put it on the website.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I will go live more often if that will help.
Yeah.
I will go live with your base if that will help. And that's another thing, like companies that have failed to utilize us that then make their own pretend videos, like that is so silly.
Yeah.
What has happened to this industry? It's nuts. This is not
It
a
is.
pretend video. You know, can you
Well, I know.
Sue and I have had it, right? Why do we bother? I don't know why we bother. Still, I don't know why. But it feels good to get it out and speak the truth. And,
Yes.
and this is not just some fancy slogan that we shared on LinkedIn and got 100 likes. This is reality. We're real people here. You know, contact info, phone calls. What's going on with autofill? Does that really not work either?
Well,
Or does
like
it,
I said,
is
it
it fixed?
is.
Is it
If
a
I
bug?
go in,
Oh.
well, when I go into incognito, everything's coming up for me. Now, when you listed a car, Janice, did you have any problems?
Nope.
Listing a car wasn't an issue.
So it was a Chrome
Well,
conflict, maybe.
that's
Maybe.
what they're saying. Listing
Okay.
on Chrome has not been a problem. Me dispatching on Chrome, they said, was the problem, but
Okay.
I went incognito on Chrome and was able to dispatch with no
Okay.
problem.
All
And all
right.
the stuff was there, by the way.
And so these are just bugs that need to be worked out.
Right.
But again, I just can't stress enough how much I think we could be of help.
Well, I totally
Or
agree.
do we
because-
but do we come off too heavy-handed? Is that the problem?
Maybe.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
this broker guy, random broker guy. Something about the show's not polished enough, or too we're too enthusiastic. I don't know. You know, I've watched other people's like webinar videos and stuff, and they're so. Today we're going to do blah 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 blah. It's and that's so not
You
that's
mean-
not reality.
They're
That's
not wearing
how-
war makeup.
Yeah, right. Or they're so over the top ridiculous, talking
Right.
about what they ate, what they wear, where their freaking dogs.
bathroom.
You know, it's like, God,
Yeah.
really, why? Why doesn't anybody know how to talk when they hit the record button? I can't understand it. I think this show just seems like it's either too real or you guys are faking it. I don't know. It's so weird to me. Or
I don't
there's
know.
not enough fancy slogans and happiness.
Well,
Like-
and you know, they used to ask me for
Weird.
advice. That stopped over a year ago. I used to do meetings with them. I could have helped people if I'd known some of this stuff. But the last time that they did it, they didn't do what they had told me to, and it was all different. And I didn't have any clue when all the rating systems went crazy and all that stuff. That was like a total slap in the face too. So all they have to do is explain this stuff. I don't know. I mean, there should have been a video that said, okay, this is going to happen. Or even an email that said, look, if it's not working, go change to Firefox or go incognito or do something, right? I mean, they just left it in our hands and expected us all to figure it out. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, this is a board that we use every single day to make our businesses work and happen. And I know you guys have a monopoly on this thing, but still, we are paying you for the service and we expect to be able to use it. And I was very unhappy yesterday.
All right,
very
good. And I'm going to add, here's the good news. Your competitors aren't doing that much better. Dog of the day, pretend videos,
Yeah.
that is not doing much better. And nobody's reading a blog. Stop.
No.
Stop.
Nobody was reading the blog.
Oh my
You're right.
gosh. So, I mean, it still is wide open. And I will say this too about like one of those last meetings, I saw who was there and I'm like, you're not going to stop. Here's another comment. Saying that random, you know, everybody's the best broker in the United States.
Right.
Like there's like
Right.
10,000 number ones in the United States.
Yeah, go look it up. They're all number one.
All right. Now, Jay, that's not a real number. Okay, it's 3,000. Fine. There's 3,000 number ones. Okay. Choosing one of those 3,000 number ones as your new number one partner or whatever. Again,
Yeah.
stop. Please. It makes the marketplace. They don't understand why. And this actually shows why this show can't get through to larger companies. I saw I saw an interview with a driver the other day, a company, call them a random broker. A random broker has a random driver that hauls for them on their show.
Really?
So bad. Because this random broker clearly has no idea how to speak to a driver as an actual person, as an actual service provider. They're talking about their hat and their place, and, it's stupid. I don't know why so many, and I wonder if we're going to bring up Charles here in a second. I wonder if, because, you know what? If too many of random brokers feel like they really are taking too much of the random carrier pay, I think they feel guilty. So when they're on camera and they have to talk to them, it's awkward. And they just have to talk about hats and county lines and where you get a beer, because they're hoping to God they don't get anywhere near the information that might lead down the road of, you took almost half my pay, you know that.
And it happens.
And it does happen. Do us a favor, stick around right after this. We're going to continue that conversation with an actual car hauler owner-operator. His name is Charles Lemons. You know who he is. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
That's the voice of Sue. If you need help shipping a car or staying loaded, Murphy Auto Transport Services is there for you. Visit murphyautotransportservices.com and let her know how she can help. All right, do me a favor. Here we go. Charles Lemons, owner-operator car hauler. Oh, he's out and about. Awesome. Charles, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can hear you. Charles, how are you?
Hey, Charles.
I'm good. Hey, Sue, how you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
A little out here running around at the auction. Just got here and left my daggone jump box in the truck.
All right, awesome. There we are. You know what? Seriously, Charles, you know that. I think you know this. You know how hard it is to get a carrier that's working, a driver, an owner-operator that's working to join live via video?
Oh yeah. I can only imagine how hard it is to get it live, because even when I try to get couriers just to do it pre-recorded, it's still hard to do that.
Why, Charles? Why?
That I'm not sure. I that's a question that I need to ask when they do kind of deny or just decline, that they want to do a video or things like that. But I'm not sure about it. They just say I think some people are just camera shy.
Which, I mean, I get that. Right. I mean, I think I do. The point, we all have something to promote and say, don't we?
Yeah, we should. We definitely should. I know I do.
All right. So, what's on your mind right now? We have a show and a thumbnail and stuff. What's happening in your world right now?
Right now it's trying to survive, man, with the market and the rates. It's not. Can you hear that? That fan is not too loud, is it?
No, I don't think I hear it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to survive in this market, Jay. It's kind of, it's getting tough, because especially within the lanes that I'm running in, we got a lot more newer carriers, I guess the newbies, and they lack the education of the car hauling industry. So they're driving the rates down, without any negotiation or things like that. So it's just it's just getting worse. See, I've been doing it for almost 3 years now, and it's kind of changing almost like drastically. So I'm just trying to, find new ways to be creative and, you know, stand out from other couriers, which is kind of hard with it being so. I mean, it's a cliche saying, but I believe it's kind of oversaturated with couriers right now.
So there's so many ways to go. One is that I want you to think about this, Charles, is that what you're saying, what you're sharing, I think almost nobody knows except for you and other carriers.
Right.
Like, because you just mentioned kind of, 3 years and a cycle of change. I don't think, other than drivers and owners and carriers, nobody knows what you're talking about. And I want to ask you more about why, how you know that. I know you know it. I just want to see if I can understand how you know it. But on the oversaturated carriers, see, this is another problem. See, everybody thinks there's a driver shortage.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to change. Like, it's one of those beliefs that once you get a belief into people, they're pretty much not going to change their mind. They are not even interested in finding out more. And driver shortage is now an ingrained belief in people and company owners that when you say oversaturated with carriers, I guarantee there are people like, nah, that's not true. Why is that? Tell me about it. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If they think that we have a lack of drivers, then the rates should be higher. Right? And they're not.
Exactly.
So that makes
That is
absolutely
absolutely correct.
That's the way it was with COVID. It was a lack of drivers. That's why the rates were as high as they were. But we don't have a lack of drivers right now. There's no way.
Yeah, it's the cars that are on the board, they're moving too fast for it to be a lack of carriers.
Yeah.
You can barely negotiate.
So even the cheap or now, are they when they're posted, are they cheap or are they, tell me more about that.
Oh no, they're very cheap. The majority are cheap. It's just you have to. I guess it's timing. Where see me, my tactic is I have two phones and my wife has a phone too. So I try to tie their lines up of trying to hurry up and book loads for the ones that are good. But even the ones that are cheap will still go fast because people are trying to survive. So for one, like I said, the lack of education of a courier, they're getting in a game that has the truck note and the insurance to pay, which is going to be through the roof.
Yep.
They're trying to at least make that first payment. So they're going to take whatever that they can get without even, looking for help without even looking for help in the area to figure out like why they not making as much money as they should make.
So sidebar, phone tactics. I'm a big fan of phone tactics because I had to devise what I think any savvy business owner has to.
Yep.
And I have also tied up phones just so that I could stay on the line and actually negotiate and get a decent price on the load.
Now.
So, I mean, this is real. I guess this is probably why nobody wants this out there. If it was known, well, maybe brokers know. Maybe the big brokers know that if it oversaturated market of carriers that are desperate for loads and will take cheap freight, well, shoot, that's a broker's dream, isn't it?
Yeah. That is. Shipper, broker, whoever you want to call it.
Yeah, and then you were asking too, Jay. I think you was asking about how do I know about the cycle of how I see the decline in the rates and stuff too. It's because when you call and talk to the brokers, like I'll deal with a certain person, get to know them by name and things like that, and try to build a relationship with that individual. Mm-hmm. But once they get a hold of a new courier that's taking the rate
cheaper,
that's taking it for the rate that's cheaper, it's like they don't even answer the phone for me anymore. So, and they have text services too. So I would text, and I don't even get a text back anymore. So that right there just goes to show, the decline, because then you'll see it just for several numbers, like a load of to back up a little bit. I do local car hauling, so the rates are, a little lower than over the road. But however, just for simple numbers, if a load was to be posted for $75, I would go in there and ask for $100 in that lane. So they would have no problem with giving it to me. But now I'm seeing load that same lane being posted at $50 because somebody's taking it for 75 without any negotiation, without negotiating the rate. If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, it does. In that, and I will add, is that when I hear it's all about relationships, I know this very well now that a year later, after I heard that nonstop, I started to wonder if maybe there's some BS in there. It is not true. It is not all about relationships. That's code word for we're going to do the right thing, but really what we're going to do is whatever we can make most money at. I know that's not happy and popular, but it's true. You are trying to build a relationship, and that's another thing. Carrier development programs and building lanes, they don't really exist in the way they get talked about. Do they? You just said you can't even get a reply to a text. I can move it. Yeah. That makes no sense at all. Other than you're not the cheapest, are you?
Exactly. So, and to add to that though, Jay, I was thinking like, well, majority of the brokers, like their client facing, so the customer is more important. To me, it appears, but I'm not sure. But I could just be, speculating. But it seems like the customer is more important than the carrier when the carrier is taking on all the heavy lifting. So, and I say that to say, like, I would even get a hold of a broker. So you know how you can call a broker sometimes, and they have an option for if you're a customer or a shipper, press 2, or if you're a transporter, press 3. You would press 3 because you're a transporter and you're trying to get a hold of a dispatcher, maybe, but you can't get a hold of that line. I would just go as if I'm a customer, and I would get an answer from that line faster than I would get from the transporter line. So, I mean, that's another way of showing, that it's customer facing as well.
Well, and it probably always will be, on this. There was a time where people talked about, we're going to have our car haulers are brand. I've heard this. We've got our car haulers represent us when they show up. They're wearing our stuff and the hat and and they're all dressed up. That's not happening. That's what happened to that? Not that I care about the hat and the t-shirt. My point is, things get said to fix it's all about relationships comment, but really it's still all about the client. Just satisfy the client, make it fast, make it cheap, satisfy them. I'll see you at the conference. We're going to eat lots of lobster. That's how this works.
Right.
And you're seeing it firsthand. I mean, so, okay, tell me more about what you're seeing. You're seeing it. You're seeing this cycle of new car haulers. How do you know? What tells you that that's real? Like newbies that don't really know what they're doing. They are taking stuff cheap. How do you know that? By their equipment? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, it's kind of. I guess that would be a bad thing to assume. But when I do one of those things, when I do see those newer trucks and newer trailers, I actually would go and ask them. I ask a lot of carriers how long have they been doing it. They'll be like, well, 3 months, 2 months, and I'll be like, how you like it? They're like, it's okay. And we'll have a little conversation. I'll try to go into trying to see if they want to talk about it on camera, but it never gets that far. But the new equipment thing is kind of that raise a flag to me that may be a new courier, especially when it's brand new.
Well, I don't think you're wrong, and this is where profiling has turned into this terrible monster. But we're supposed to use our gut instinct on stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you're onto something. That makes sense to me. And here's what the irony: the broker wants to see brand new equipment. The client wants to see brand new equipment. But
But
when you go to get signed up and you're new, you can't get signed up right away. How many guys and gals, how many families, how many voters, there we go, how many voters are sitting on brand new equipment and can't haul for somebody because they're so new?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, a lot. I get a lot of people that come to my channel asking that question too, um, about the brokers, the how long it takes to get signed up with a broker to even carry a load. That's another thing too. That's another issue because people are not even doing their market research to figure out how long it would take to get signed up with a broker to even get a load. So that's why I tell some people just, I mean, if you want to try, if you want to get into it, look into trying to get your customer first before getting into this, because once you start financing stuff and if you don't have no money, you're gonna be upside down before you even start.
I've seen some comments about the marketplace. Have you seen people go out of business?
Yeah. There's a lot of carriers that I seen when I first started that I don't even see anymore. That were running in the same areas. I'm talking because I like right now I still, like I said, I do local, so it's a metropolitan area. So the auctions, you pretty much see the same couriers at the auctions. Here we all around the same auctions I see them, but I don't even see a lot of couriers anymore. I had even couriers that told me they got out of it because it wasn't even worth it.
A carrier that gets out of it, what do they then go do? Is there, I don't know.
regular job or
Back to work a job. Yeah, they're going back to work a job or drive a truck for somebody else. Not a car hauling, but they would go drive for somebody else and work a job.
Right. Okay. Right. You go
Yeah.
from Independentville to W9 employee. Right.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But the
Yeah.
idea of and maybe that's where they also came from. So the idea of getting into car hauling was American dream, independent owner operator, right? Own your own business.
Yeah. Yeah. Without the truth being told about the expenses and things like that before you get into it. So they heard how much money you can make, but they didn't know how much of that money was going back into the business to pay your business expenses and your personal expenses for you to have no money at the end of the day.
yep.
DDD got my attention. All right. Lots of comments from DDD. I love it. Okay, if new carriers and wedgies knew their cost, they wouldn't have these issues. And I'm catching up. So sorry, DDD. And we can add you to the show if you're ready. Wedgie will damn near move vehicles for free. Stop taking cheap cars for fuel money. Carriers brokers will have to go out of business in order for things to change, which will, well, the carriers will go out of business. See, brokers will have to go out of business for things to change. Do you agree with that? Which shows
Yeah.
don't brokers run the marketplace? I keep
Yeah.
hearing, right? Isn't that true? Who agrees? Brokers run the marketplace. Sue,
I do.
tell us why that isn't true.
I don't think it's completely true. Let's put it that way.
Who does then? Shippers?
I think shippers affected a lot. Yeah, I do. And by shippers, I'm also including dealerships in that
Ooh,
too.
dealerships.
Because I've had lots of dealerships run the price down. They think their stuff should be way cheaper than everybody else's for some weird reason. And sorry, it doesn't work like that. Actually, there should be more. I'm sorry, but they should, because they're trying to get it to a customer or getting it to them to get to a customer. And they're just individual units. We're not talking about shipping like 10 at a time. I get that they get a discount for that, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the onesies and twosies. And those are the ones that should be paying $1 a mile. If you want to get them to your customer fast, pay $1 a mile. Guarantee you'll have it there almost immediately. And that's what I do with all of my dealerships. That's how I price them. So
I love that. Charles, what do you think of what she said?
I can agree. Um, so, but that's where I kind of had a question too, in a sense. So, do we think that the shipper or the dealer cares about pricing? Because I'm having a hard time trying to be creative,
mhm.
innovative,
Right.
to acquire direct, customers.
Yeah.
So, do we think that they care about pricing, or do they want it cheap, or do they want the cars fast?
So it all depends on who you're dealing with, is what I think. Like
Mm,
my customer base. Okay, so here's the thing. I hate to say it like this, but I have older customers that are of a different nationality. We'll just leave it at that. They're up in
mhm,
Jersey. They're up in Massachusetts. They're in New York. They expect shit cheap. We all know that. Now,
mm,
my customers that are from here, I tell them $1 a mile and they get it. They know it. They know it needs to be paid. They know they need to move it, and that's the way it is. And those are my big dealerships. And sometimes we pay over $1 a mile because they want it that fast. And they don't have a problem with it. When I throw a price at them, they're like, "How fast can I get it?" And I'll just tell them, certain areas are going to be faster than others, and that's the way it goes. But usually, almost every time I put a load out for them, it's moving within the same day. But not everybody is like that. You're right. I mean, they're dealing, like, I have to deal with those customers. I have to do what they tell me to do up there in Jersey and stuff. If I want to keep moving their stuff, I'm going to price it the way they want it because they're like, "I've always paid this price," that kind of crap. So that's what you do. And it sucks. I don't like it either.
yeah, it does. That's what I was thinking. Because I was asking, I was telling Jay too about, um, we was having a conversation. I was asking him, well, this is the question. Do do we believe that the technology is hurting the car hauling industry, or is it helping in a sense? Because, for example, I'm not opposed to like the self dispatch load, but I'm opposed to the ones that don't let you negotiate.
Hmm. I
So
agree.
if I can't negotiate the rate, and even a bigger broker, they even have on the pre-recorded phone line that they don't want you to. I mean, if you calling about the rate is what it is, basically in so many
Yeah.
words. So
Yeah.
you
Don't
might as
bother.
well just hang the phone up, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, I think it's kind of a tactic to keep the negotiating aspect out of
I think now, I haven't seen what they're doing or if it has even happened yet. Has it?
What?
On the new load board, are they putting that stuff on there to click to get a load yet?
Not that I've
I
seen.
believe, Charles, that's coming. And I believe when I talked to them, it's almost been 2 years ago. The object was is that you could negotiate on when you push the button, you can negotiate, but many other people are going to be doing the same thing. You don't know what they're going to pick until they actually pick it. That's the
right.
part I don't like either. It's not, it's about, and don't get me wrong, when people call me for a load, I go look up the ratings and stuff like that. Um, but when they get on there, what are they going to look at? Are they going to go with people they know? Right? That's what I usually do. I go with them first. If they can meet whatever I need them to do, I'm going to go with the driver that I've used before. But are they going to go for the cheapest one? You're right. Are they?
Yeah, yeah. I think they want to get it moved for the cheapest price, and
Yeah.
it can be frustrating sometimes. But it's I seen the good in this industry, but I see the bad a lot more than the good. But how do we get it to be all good? That's the mind-boggling part that I deal with every day, trying to figure out how can we change this, because I like the car. It's good. It's done well for me, and it actually changed my life. But when you get in it, just like any industry, there's pros and cons to it. But
Mhm.
I just want to be able to be a part of the good change in the industry.
Right. No, I
Yeah,
agree. And I mean, this whole money thing we have been dealing with for years. I mean, it's always been an issue about what the rates are. And then you can see them fluctuate depending on what time of the year it is. You're going to see higher rates during the good season. You're going to see lower rates when there's more loads out there. Like right now, there's more loads out there, but they're cheap. I think we were at 39,000 today or something like that. But you and I both know there's a lot of cheap crap on there.
yeah,
I mean, there always is. You kind of have to work around it sometimes, and you were talking about, like sometimes you don't have a choice, right? So
yeah.
what we try to do is base it on like you get a really good pan load, and you try not to take the crappiest loads on there to make it all work to keep your driver going, so they're still making money. Sometimes it works,
Right.
sometimes it doesn't. Especially when you're brand new, there's so many trials and tribulations right now trying to get into this industry when you're sitting there and you're paying what $2,000 a month just in insurance, and that's not even including everything else, and you can't hardly run because nobody will sign you up. I mean, it never used to be like that. I'll be honest. We went through a period where they had done that, and then they realized they couldn't do it because there was no drivers for them. And that's why I don't understand, if there's a driver shortage, why are they not signing everybody up?
Right. Yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
it
because
all
even when I
circles
think,
around.
yeah, I think I kind of got lucky when I started because it may have been the driver shortage thing may have been true at that period of time because the companies now that are telling people that they have to be 3 months or 6 months or whatever the case may be. I signed up with those companies as soon as I got my authority
Mm-hmm.
because they needed drivers. They was like,
Yep.
normally we do 3 months of authority, but right now we need help, so
Was
we'll
it
get
during
you on board.
COVID or right
Yeah,
after COVID? That's
like
why. Yeah.
right after.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's when RAT opened back up and allowed people to sign back up and everything else. Yeah. They didn't have a choice. You're right. They had to do
Yeah,
all of that. Nobody was
yeah,
on the road. Anybody who was on the road, though, was making bank. I'll tell you that.
yeah.
Well, I want to pick up the bad versus good thing. So, one of my expertise is bringing up bad and good. Over time, we always skew to the good, and God darn, if you can't say any, man, if you say something negative or even somewhat negative, oh man, everyone jumps out the window and starts calling HR. It's crazy. It's really bad. And the thing is that here's some bad. So when I was a dispatcher, I feel like I say that all the time now. When I was back in my day, dealers were one of the hardest groups to negotiate with when I booked a load. They were positive. They knew the industry. This is the way the granddaddy did it, and all that stuff. And it really became irritating because I thought the same thing. I thought, aren't we're your logistics and service department,
Mhm.
aren't we?
Yeah.
But you talk to us like we're garbage.
Mhm.
I mean, I saw this a lot. So as I've grown to know more about the dealer vertical and read the dealer headlines, and man, dealers make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. I
A
agree.
lot of them do.
Yeah.
They have no idea that your profit margin is so much smaller than theirs.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think a lot of them, they don't care. They don't want to hear it.
Nope.
Okay? We live in, yeah, give camera one on this. We live in an us versus them world.
Mm-hmm.
We do. And we have people running for office that support an us versus them mentality. There, I said it. It's all everywhere. So when I see all this happy-go-lucky leadership relationship nonsense on LinkedIn, it is code word. That is a cover story for the reality of an us versus them society. There, I said it. And these conferences are all high fives and raves, and man, it is not inclusive. We are not an inclusive society in business. That's fine. But now that I've laid that foundation, that's what you're dealing with when you're trying to negotiate a dealer. So what if you're the logistics service provider and without you, I can't serve my customer? So freaking what? That is how a lot of dealers look at it, and it isn't going to change. So you just have to know who understands and who doesn't give a crap.
Right.
That's where we're at. I think that's where we've always been. That's auto transport.
Yeah, everybody's not your customer. So, gotta just keep the strength is in numbers. So the more that you go out and talk to people, you start to get different conversations out of people. So that with me, I just don't stop. I mean, I deal with a lot of rude people. I dealt with a rude guy today.
That's
It's
another
kind
one.
of,
Why are people so rude? Why?
yeah. I don't understand. Yeah, for the life of me, I can't understand. But I didn't let the rudeness of that guy get to me because man, I'm just picking up the car so I can just go on about my business and going on about my day so I can go home. That's not what I'm here for. Whatever you got going on,
See, And I want to say this. I just said some pretty negative stuff, but man, I feel so much lighter now. Is that why people are so rude? They're keeping all this crap in all day, and they can barely contain themselves. They're so mad that they're going to kick. A dog is getting kicked today. That's what it should say on the coffee mug. A dog is getting kicked today. That is craziness.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
It is ridiculous. It's not necessary.
That to get to me. I just, just keep going. Just keep going. Just like the video I had put on LinkedIn, but for the life of me, I didn't want to put the video out, but it happened so many times that some would say, just not work with that broker, which is understandable. But I mean, once you communicate and once you do everything on your end that you're supposed to, it's like, come on, like we're running a business. We're here to help each other. You know what I mean? It should be a partnership, but it definitely don't seem like.
All right, it's a partnership.
It's
a relationship.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but it's a take it or leave it type of industry. If you ask me.
Let's see here. I think we covered many things. We kind of talked about the broker fee. It's 1:00. Before we let you go, I know we've kept you for a while. Charles, I want to say before I do let you go is that I'm glad that we're collaborating. I like it. I like having you on. I like what you're doing with, trying to share a message. You and I talked about, it's kind of like the good versus bad. Boy, when you talk good, it just seems so wonderful and normal and non-noticeable. And then you say something negative like I did, and it's like, oh my God, no way. So, you tried to say something constructive, but it might have been received as negative. How do we stay constructive with our feedback in this industry?
I would just say, I guess, not let your emotions get the best of you. You know what I mean? When doing it, and just because even like me when I try to put out a constructive message, I may feel a certain type of way. I might be really frustrated about it, but at the same time, I don't let my emotions get the best of me when I deliver the message because I actually want to help. You know what I mean? So I'm not a crap of help, but it's me just really wanting to help, man, and just hoping that somebody sees it so we can all fix it and work as a group and come together and take the business back. Like what is his name? What is his name? Ron from the repo guy. Is that his name?
I know. I mean, it's on the tip of my. I know what you're talking about. Ron from the repo.
Vaughn. I think his name is Vaughn.
Vaughn Clemens. Yeah. The president of the American Recovery Association. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, how he was taking about how he was saying that we need to take our business back and things like that with that conversation you guys had on that repo episode. But yeah, just coming together as a collective to all put across a constructive message.
And I want to say this because you reminded me of something, and that is that I'm taking a whack at conferences and lobster and all that stuff, but here's the truth. Almost everybody that maybe you seem like you're in opposition with, if you sit down and have coffee with them and you're able to talk to that person for a few minutes, you find you really have common ground. And over time, building common ground with people that you thought were adversaries can slowly, it seems like it changes things, but here's the problem. It only takes one bad nut. I said nut instead of apple because they're nuts to get in the way of that progress. I have talked to people at companies and made inroads, and there's still one holdout just mucking up the whole thing. It's crazy. One person can stand in the way of real progress. And when you see that, you identify that person or problem, you have to come up with a strategy. How in the world do you get around that lone nut? I don't know. But that's what it comes down to sometimes. Again, that's a really negative thing to say, Jay. You've just been canceled. HR is going to call you.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's not negative, man. It can be perceived as negative, but it's the truth.
Well, the truth feels so good.
Yeah, it does.
Sue, do you feel better about yesterday? Or how you doing?
Oh.
No?
No, yesterday was horrifying and
Oh,
I was
man.
upset all day. I'm a little bit better today.
You're better. You feel better, but you feel lighter. You got a little,
Yeah, I
right? You got a
got it off my
little.
chest.
That's
Plus, things are
great.
starting to work. So,
I think things are starting to work. Side note, I'll say I was just messaging with Eric. They're working through some bugs. They've got a lot, they got a lot on their plate. I think that he appreciates what we're doing, and I appreciate that we're in communication. Here, Charles, I want to ask you. So, Central Dispatch mobile app. Do you know about it? Have you seen it? Do you have anything to say?
No. Did it come? Did it come out yesterday?
You just proved my whole point, right? That's my point, exactly. I don't think people. No, you're not wrong. I don't know what carriers. Do carriers know?
no, because I think this. Well, yes, because you have to
Okay.
accept the loads differently.
Ah, you do.
But
Yeah.
the dispatching of it is totally different. So yeah, I think it affected brokers more yesterday than
That's
it did
what
the
I'm thinking
transporters
too. Yeah.
so far.
It's actually weird because yesterday, and like I heard you talking about the integration aspect of how you couldn't import it into Super, and I was trying to do that yesterday,
Yeah,
and
you couldn't
my
do
wife
that
was doing
either.
it. She
That would
was
have
like, "You
affected
can't
you.
do it." I'm like, I hope they didn't take the integration away because if they did, that was kind of pointless to me. But that the way you do the dispatcher thing was kind of crazy too because how you go in there, you gotta pick the vehicle up and then hit update status, and then you gotta go back in and then put the when it was delivered. Then you gotta hit update status. It's way. It seemed like it's more steps than it was
Before.
initially to update the
Yeah,
status of the vehicle. I
I
don't
agree.
like that part, but
Yeah,
however,
yeah.
it's all about getting
Um.
used to.
Okay, so what you just did there, so that's what I want. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
See, ATI is a conduit for feedback and improvements much faster than setting up a focus group in a month with people that don't actually use it, and there's no point in doing that. You can save all that money by leveraging ATI and talking to real people, real users, real brokers, real carriers, real people, and just skip all the yachts and all the planes and skiing and Springsteen tickets. No need for all that stuff. You could do it here. And I say that, but we'll take a couple Springsteen tickets for sure. But I will say, so the thing is, what you just said too is, wait, did you say you used the Central Dispatch mobile app? Did you say
For
that,
me?
Charles? Yeah, no. You
No, I
haven't
didn't
used
even.
it.
I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that they
Okay.
even had the app yet.
So I am saying this. Why
1-763-438-00.
I better save that.
Okay.
It's the importing the PDF. Why? Why would Xbox or Google, let's go with Xbox. Why would Xbox host a platform where you play games and do all this cool stuff, but you know what? If you're really going to play the game, you're going to move it off of Xbox onto PlayStation. Why? If I'm Xbox, why am I going to let that keep going? No way, man. This is Xbox. If you want to play an Xbox game, if you want to connect with an Xbox community member, if you want to trade with your Xbox friends, you ain't going to PlayStation.
Right.
You are staying on Xbox, and we're going to make it great. We're going to make Xbox great again.
Yeah, we technology came too far for it to not all be on one platform. I agree. I was thinking the same thing, but it was working still.
Well, and PlayStation's done a great job. Thank you, PlayStation. But we're Xbox. We will take it from here.
Yeah,
How'd I do? All right? I got through it?
yeah, that was great.
Oh, shit. Okay, Charles, thank you so much for joining us, and can't wait to have you back. And in that meantime, let me know how we can collaborate. There are different folks sharing more stuff about auto transport. I still think there's a lot of collaborating, education, and leveraging that can go on. So let's keep in touch, okay, Charles?
Most definitely. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll put you in the waiting room. Have a good one.
Okay. See you later.
All right, see ya.
That's awesome, man. I like Charles. Charles
Yeah.
is good people.
She's on her show right now, so she had.
Yeah, driver shortage. The driver shortage is such a scam. Oh,
I
man.
don't even understand the purpose of saying it.
I do.
What?
Because it's great for,
Ruin
it's,
the-
you know what? It's great
lives?
for our bottom line. If everyone keeps believing driver shortage, this is another thing what I find so interesting. There are many people now in the United States that they have hung their political life on different conspiracies. But they refuse other obvious conspiracies, such as driver shortage. Driver shortage is a belief that will keep rates down. Did I say that right? Now I'm confused. But it's a narrative. Driver shortage is a narrative.
Right.
All right. We talked about dealers. We talked about carrier profits. We talked about central dispatch stuff. I think we covered a lot. It's been an hour. DDD, please send me an email. Let's see here. Okay. No. Okay, yeah. No email yet, but DDD, I mean it. And here's the thing. I'm going to go to camera one on this. How do I say this right? It is... What's that microphone doing? It is hard to get guests in the zone to feel comfortable to talk on this channel. One is probably because I just let it rip, right? I mean, and it's strange to me. I thought that's what I got into media decades ago. I thought the idea of media was to let it rip.
Yeah.
To be yourself. To,
Yeah.
like these reality shows. Although I don't know. Okay, skip the reality show with an iron boot. If you work in logistics, broker, carrier, dispatcher, hater, lover, good, bad, and you have something to say, ATI is the channel where you can do that. There are these freight channels, they do some of that stuff. And then there's podcasts where you can, as long as you say nice things, you can promote whatever you want. But if you are really looking, you got this is the good thing about Straight Talk Media is that you will hit a wall on something. And you have something you really want to say that you want to see fixed, and that by sharing it doesn't hurt you. ATI Auto Business is that media. That's where you go. Also, because I've worked in media so long, I know staying on topic is important as far as automotive. We stayed on automotive topic again for over an hour today. We do it every week.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the weather or fishing or what you're wearing or where you went or what you drank. None of that crap. Because we're speaking the truth. I've seen other shows where within 5 minutes they're talking about, I don't know, where they ate. You know why?
They have nothing else to talk about.
Because they can't talk the truth.
Oh, that too.
Well, they can't. They're all duct taped to the desk. Well, so what did you eat? Or where did you grow up? Or where's your daddy's farm? It's so stupid. It's so dumb. All right. What's going on next week? Are we off the air next week?
I don't know.
I think that's it. This is our last show. We're done. No. OEMs love ClearPath TMS. This is kind of cool. I don't think I told you this.
No.
Aaron Korf at ClearPath TMS.
Cool.
is getting involved. I think maybe I did tease it. Aaron Korf at ClearPath TMS is getting involved with ATI. Do you know what ClearPath TMS is?
Isn't ClearPath what they use for Carvana?
Exactly.
Okay.
Carvana is now being hosted and built on ClearPath,
ClearPath. Right.
which is why it's better. Well, OEMs love ClearPath TMS. This might be one of the reasons why. We normally talk used cars, right? Load
Right.
boards.
Right.
Well, ClearPath works with a lot of OEMs and full load car hauling businesses that haul for OEMs. ClearPath is awesome technology. Aaron is going to be on the show next Thursday. So if you have a question about Carvana load board, that's a good thing to ask. A mobile app question. Aaron knows his stuff, and he's going to be on the show next Thursday. Somebody's like, "Oh, they're back next week?"
And when's your show with Central? Talk about that.
Tuesday at noon.
Okay. Tuesday at noon, everybody.
Tuesday at noon. So yeah, that's a great way to end the show today. Tuesday at noon, and I'm just gonna say this too, in case somebody's listening. I say that like people don't like the show or watch the show. A lot of people actually do. ATI is kind of the dirty secret now, where the show is real. We're not going to talk about what we wore or push an agenda. Allegedly. Meaning that people really do know. It's weird how many people actually watch and listen to ATI. And that's why.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
There it is.
It actually, in the auto transport industry, is one of the few, maybe the only, actually consistent media. I don't know where else you'd go. Anyways, that's why Central Dispatch is coming on Tuesday. Cox Automotive will be live. And I've had a couple Cox Automotive shows this year, which I think is great. I actually think that, and I've said this and I'm saying it now, I think ATI, when it comes to, especially in logistics and auto transport, rivals, if not exceeds, the other mainstream automotive media. And I know what they are. I'm not going to list them. But, so I've had a couple Cox Automotive shows, and I've also watched Cox Automotive content on other channels, and I think ATI's content rivals other automotive channel media. Anyways, geez, Jay, so long-winded. Tuesday, Cox Automotive and Central Dispatch are coming on ATI at noon live to talk about the Central Dispatch enhancements launch. We're gonna start with Joe Keekler. Now, Joe Keekler is a VP in digital supply chain, digital innovations and supply chain at Cox, and he's never been live on ATI before. And so we're going to welcome him, and we want to learn more about him, what he does. He's very connected to Mannheim, very connected in Cox, very connected to the Central Dispatch initiatives. And then we're going to add Eric Schwartz and Lainey Sybil, who actually work with day-to-day with Central Dispatch. And we're going to learn more about them, about Cox, about Central Dispatch. And I see this as an amazing opportunity for ATI and Cox Automotive to just get a wee closer in the universe of automotive. Which I think that the time is right. I've put in my time, I put in my research, and I also know what else is out there. And it's not really being covered, not the way we do it, which is great. There's my speech. So hopefully I answer your question. Sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, hey, did I answer your question? Now, Elena, by the way, Elena's talking about refresh. Yeah. I'm wondering what we're supposed to do if Central Dispatch starts blocking auto refresh programs.
They are going to block it.
Yeah, they are going to block it.
That's what it says.
And what I think I'm getting at is, if they're going to block auto refresh, are they going to block the importing of a PDF? And that's why I made the Xbox PlayStation statement. Is that, well, I would. Why Why would you go to PlayStation to play an Xbox game when I've got the game on Xbox? I'm going to keep you on Xbox. You don't need to go to PlayStation. You don't need to go to PlayStation to play an Xbox game. You don't need to do that. You're on Xbox. And so Charles, he doesn't know exactly how that's going to work out, and so that's why I'm saying, hey, listen, this is part of the delivery. Listen, we're here, ATI's here to help make Xbox great again. Are you getting it? Okay.
I got it.
They're busy with their pretend videos. All right, there I said it. Listen, I want to thank everybody. Thank you so much, live chat. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. This was a great show. I think we all feel better. It's like therapy. We should call it industry therapy. Logistics on ATI. What do we say, Janice?
Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. Thank you all
Everybody.
so much. We'll see you soon.
Right,
Tuesday, noon, Central
Tuesday
Dispatch.
at noon. Be
Yeah.
there, be square.
Get in.
Get in.
All
You
right,
should
get
be
on
there.
board. Thank you so much. Peace.